Welcome to Demonic Diaries, the YouTube channel where we explore the darkest corners of the human mind. Join me, your host, as I delve into the pages of terrifying tales and haunting stories. From the depths of hell to the darkest depths of the human psyche, we'll be your guide through the most bone-chilling and spine-tingling stories that will keep you up at night. So buckle up and prepare to be scared, because on Demonic Diaries, every story has a dark side. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell to be notified of new videos. Let's get started. Number 1. Almost 2 months ago, my grandma came to live with us. She's like super old, past 70 I think, and she was falling and getting confused at her own house, and mom said she wasn't willing to put her own mother in a home, so dad bought one of those like big sheds from Home Depot, like the tiny house thing, with outlets and stuff, and put it in the backyard for grandma. I guess she didn't want to give up her independence, or else she'd just take Christina's room since she's in college now, but I'm kind of glad she didn't. Grandma has been weird for a while now, and it kind of makes me uncomfortable. I know that makes me sound kind of crappy or whatever, but I figure I should just tell the truth the whole way through this, because stuff gets super weird, and a bunch of you guys isn't going to believe me anyways, so I'm not going to lie about this stuff before it gets crazy. Yeah, I don't mean to make you think I hate Grandma or anything. I love her, and she used to be awesome. She was like the grandparent who would go out in the yard and slip and slide with us and stuff when she was like 10 years younger. I was pretty little then, I'm only 14 now, so I guess that was when I was like 6 or whatever, but I remember it. She was always that grandparent, the one who spent more time with the kids than with the adults at whatever gathering we were all at. But lately, like in the last couple of years, she just sort of, I don't know, I guess she bums me out. She'll forget who everyone is, and she kept calling me Frederick, but my name is Andy, so she's way off. She'll forget everyone's name kind of, but mine is like, she always calls me Frederick. Not even Fred, it's always the whole name like that. No one has been named Frederick in like a million years. Fred is bad enough, you know what I mean. And it was my grandpa's name, grandma's husband, so it weirds me out that she keeps confusing me with the dude she was married to for so long. I guess it's not even grandma that bums me out, it's just knowing that some people do that when they get old, sort of lose their minds or whatever, and it's like, I hope that doesn't happen to me, and so I don't even want to be reminded that it does happen at all. Maybe that makes me a total turd, I don't really know. So anyway, Dad gets to shutter Grandma's house as we're all calling it, and it's cool I guess for real. It's bigger than I thought it would be and even has a bathroom in it. It's like a little living room, a little kitchen, a bathroom. She sleeps on a futon in there. She eats with us most meals, and honestly in the beginning it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. She sort of seemed like maybe she was getting better. Maybe it was just being around family. Grandpa died like 5 years ago, and it's just been her. She would come to eat dinner and stuff, and like, she was walking okay and not falling, and she knew our names and all that kind of thing. But one night I woke up, it was like the middle of the night, but I woke up because I heard something banging in the backyard, and my room is on the ground floor and looks right out at the backyard through this big window I have, so I went to the window, and I saw Grandma just standing in the middle of the yard totally naked. She was staring right back at me, and the banging sound was coming from the door to her little house. She had left it open, and I guess it was windy or whatever, because it was banging into the side of her house. It woke Dad up too. I heard him come down the stairs and then saw him in the backyard, going through the kitchen door, and he got Grandma to go back inside, but it took him a minute. He had taken one of Mom's robes and put that on her first, and she let him. I guess he had looked out the window too, and saw that she was naked. But when he tried to get her to go back inside, she just kind of ignored him and stood staring at me. I'm not sure Dad even knew I was up and watching, but he ended up having to like, pull her inside. It freaked me out, and I'm not even sure she could see me in my dark room like that, but it felt like she had been watching me sleep. She got weird after that again, and kept calling me Frederick. Well, she honestly only got weird in that way for real. She remembered everyone else's name, but totally kept calling me by Grandpa's name. For a week that was kind of it. I slept through the night, but I don't think she was out in the yard anymore. One Saturday my best friend Aiden came over and we were playing wiffle ball in the backyard. Grandma and Mom had gone shopping or something, so I didn't have to like, worry about Grandma coming out naked and being weird. But Aiden found something weird anyways when he tried to catch a foul ball I hit. He ran for it and almost slammed into the wall right by my room, where like, he would have hit his head on my big window. He missed the ball, and when he bent to grab it he looked back at me. "Dude, what is this?" he asked, and I went to see what he was talking about. There was a ring of tiny bones lying in the grass right at the bottom of my window. In the middle of the ring of bones was the head of a bird, like a little robin or something. It weirded me out and we went and told my dad. I could tell it freaked him out too, but he just had us go inside to play video games while he cleaned it all up. A few nights after that I got really freaked out when I got woken up again. This time it was a weird squeaking sound or something, and when I woke up I looked right at the window and saw Grandma there, naked again and drawing on my window with her finger. It was like she was finger painting. She drew a circle and then this weird letter type thing, like Latin or something, inside of it. She stopped when she noticed me get out of bed, and I went to the window, and I noticed then that what she was using was red, and it reminded me of blood. I yelled and ran out of the room, running up to Mom and Dad's room and waking them up. Dad went outside and I went with him. He told me not to, but I didn't care. I had told him Grandma was naked and drawing on my window, so he grabbed Mom's robe again, but when we got out there Grandma was gone. But my window still had the red stuff on it, and we found out it was totally blood, because right under my window was a dead rabbit, its stomach pulled open and its guts hanging out. Dad told me to go inside and turn to go to Grandma's house, and I followed him. He went to the front door and it was unlocked. He pushed it open and then cursed. I looked past him and saw Grandma asleep, or she looked asleep, except she was floating a foot or so off of the phaeton. I mean, I know that sounds crazy, and Dad totally thinks we were just seeing things or something because it was dark, and he's convinced himself he hadn't seen what he did, but I know what I saw and I stand by it. She was floating. I know it sounds crazy, but she was. Still naked as all get out, and floating. Dad just slammed the door shut, and we both sort of ran for home. He had me sleep up in their room, getting a sleeping bag for me and putting it on the floor. He and Mom went out into the hall to talk for a bit, and then Dad came in by himself, and I think Mom went out to check on Grandma. I think she ended up sleeping out there with her. The next morning Dad cleaned up the rabbit and my window, and Mom took Grandma to the doctor. I think the regular doctor, but then they made her talk to a crazy people doctor too because they were gone all day. When they got back Grandma went right to her little house and didn't come out for dinner, and Mom took it out to her. Things seemed to get better with Grandma for the next week and a half, and that basically brings us up to now, but one more thing happened last night, and it made me want to post here, just in case something happens to me. Well, I guess it happened last night, but I didn't find out until this morning. I woke up and my window was open. It rained a bunch last night, and muddy footprints led from the window to my bed. That same weird symbol had been painted in blood again right over my bed. I woke up and saw it and freaked out, and when I sat up in bed I saw someone standing in the corner of my room. It looked a lot like Grandpa, but I yelled and ran for my mom and dad, and when we went into my room he was gone. Dad went out to get Grandma, but she was gone too. We don't know where she is. I felt strange all morning, my head is pounding. I had to take a break from writing this just now, but thought I had better come and finish. James called off work today. I kept telling Jennifer he was good for nothing when she started dating him. He keeps checking on me, and he must be a bit touched in the head, something else I had always thought. He keeps calling me Andy, even though he knows damn well my name is Frederick. Number 2. I've gone deep into the rainforests of Borneo. There is something very evil out here. Part 1. I'm finally here. This has been a trip that I've been planning for years. Firstly, a bit of background. My name is Caleb, I'm 19 years old, and I'm originally from Canada, but I've grown up my whole life in Melbourne, Australia. That's because my parents are crazy about nature and moved to Australia when I was young in an effort to save the great white shark population. Now, whilst they've established themselves as well-respected shark conservationists, I'm wanting to start my own legacy to help the planet. So, I found myself, finally, in Malaysia, the Sabah region to be exact, on the island of Borneo, to start my efforts in helping save the rainforest. The planning from this trip began years ago, in 2019, when I was reading forums about families being affected by the tearing down of the rainforest in these regions. On one of these forums, I met a man called Ketil, who lives in Iceland. He shares the same passion as me, and we often talked about going to Southeast Asia and helping to find ways to sustain these beautiful rainforests. However, we both agreed that we'd first like to experience living off of the rainforest firsthand to fully understand its importance. So, we posted online countless times seeking this experience, and that's when, just last year, we were contacted by Asri, a man who lives deep within the rainforest with his wife, Siti, and their young child, Hazik. Asri told us that he would be happy for myself and Ketil to stay with him and his family for as long as we wanted, that he would be happy to show us the importance of the rainforest and how to live off of it. Which brings me to the present day. Myself and Ketil are eagerly waiting for the water taxi to pick us up. Ketil and I have traveled together for the past 2 weeks and we're already good friends. His long blonde hair provides a contrast to my short brown cut, and his blue eyes are always wide with excitement from the minute he wakes up right up until he falls asleep. He clings onto his blue rucksack and he paces, waiting for the boat to come and pick us up. Asri had said that the water taxi only makes this journey once a fortnight, so to be prepared for that. He also said there is very little to no phone signal where he stays. I was surprised there was any at all, to be honest. Ketil and I wait by a little fishing village that we had to take multiple buses to reach. Along the village runs a river. Dark brown water rushes by, leading into a gap in the trees that flows deep into the surrounding rainforest. The tall green trees act as a shelter to the river, towering over it, protecting it from the sun and the rain. I look downstream along the river and see something approaching. The taxi is here, Ketil excitedly exclaims as a little speedboat comes trudging up the river toward us. I notice the frail man driving the boat appear surprised as we waved him down. He must not come across many tourists out here. Hello, I speak as the boat pulls up beside us. We are looking to go to the house of Asri Fadilla, I asked. Asri assured us that the boat driver would know what we mean. Ah, the boat driver exclaims, Asri. Yes, I reply, Asri. The driver ushers us in and we begin the long journey up the water, going ever deeper into the rainforest. 2 hours have passed. We have driven by a number of small riverside villages. Local Malaysians were washing themselves in the river, fishing, harvesting leaves from nearby trees, and cutting fruit from their branches. The importance of the rainforest has already shown itself to me. The locals all wave at us as we pass them. They appear to be a very kind and welcoming people. The sounds of the rainforest are constant, but ever-changing. Crickets chirp in harmony with the songs of 1,000 birds. Wind rustles through the trees, to our hair and back again, and the call of monkeys ring from the distance on repeat. It is calming, beautiful, comforting. The river is winding, never-ending. It's astounding how deep into the rainforest we have traveled. After a while, it has become extremely clear how people get lost in places like this. It all looks so similar, and just keeps on going and going. It's getting dark now, and just as I start to build up the courage to ask the quiet driver how much further we have to travel, he points to a clearing in the trees that's nestled alongside the river. Banana trees sit either side of the clearing, providing a picturesque change in the ever-stretching wall of trees and brushes that line the rest of the river. As he pulls up beside the clearing, he ushers us off of the boat and says, "This is Asri here." We thank the driver and pay him what he asks. No sooner than we pay him, does he drive off at speed. Ketil and I turn around and see a man walking down a small muddy slope behind us. He is frail, similarly built to the boat driver, however hosts a large smile on his face. He is tanned, with short dark hair. He wears a raggedy red t-shirt with the faded words Ohio on the front of it, black shorts, and white slippers. He swats a fly away from his face as he reaches his hand out toward us, shaking both of our hands. "My friends," he exclaims, "welcome." He glances over to the banana trees beside us, putting his hand on my back and guiding me up the small mound of mud he had just traversed down. He eagerly leads the way and within minutes we reach a small, stilted wooden house. The house towers over us, around 10 feet high, is still bearing its weight well. As difficult as it is to explain this, the house appears run down but also very sturdy, as if it has faced 1,000 storms, but still stands strong. It is in a small clearing surrounded by rainforest, with a washing line beside it strewn with clothes, and a small outhouse beside that. There are also cages of chickens nestled by a nearby tree. As we climb the thin rickety staircase up toward the veranda of the house, a woman appears. She is smiling and holding a glass plate of assorted fruit toward us. She is petite and wears her dark hair tied up in a bun. She wears clothes similar to Asri, although her flip-flops appear far more worn down than his. "Hello, welcome," she smiles, offering us the fruit. "I am Sidi. Welcome to our home." Sidi asks us to take our shoes off on the small terrace, which we do, before showing us inside. The house inside consists of 4 rooms, a main living area, a kitchen area, and Sidi and Asri's bedroom. The 4th room, I am unsure of what it's for, as the door is partially blocked by a small cabinet and table. Sidi shows us where we will sleep, 2 small mattresses in the main room of the house. Kedil and I place our bags down, and I wipe the sweat from my brow as my eyes scan the wooden walls of the room. Small shutters cover the windows, a strange mask hangs from one of the walls, and a series of spears sit beside the front door, which I assume are used for fishing. City soon comes out of the kitchen area. Makinen, she smiles, which I know means it's time for food. As I lay on my mattress, I think back to the delicious meal City had made us: fresh fish, rice, and a spicy sambal sauce. Asri and City had spoken about their day-to-day life out here, about what's important to them, and about how they have learned to speak English so well. They are both very kind. But now, it is dark and Kedil and I lay beside each other trying to get some sleep, listening to the constant noise of the rainforest. Kedil, I whisper, not wanting to wake our hosts. Where is their son, Hazik? I was thinking that, Kedil replies, not really something we can easily ask. Maybe we'll see him tomorrow. Maybe he's asleep in that room. I look over to the door that's blocked. Strange. Why would they block up that room with furniture if he was just sleeping? I say, maybe. I suppose we should try and get some sleep. I imagine we'll be up pretty early. Kedil murmurs incoherently. He's fallen asleep already. How does he do that? I wait to the sound of distant laughter. My eyes creep awake. It takes a second to establish my bearings in this new environment. I check my watch. 12:13 a.m. My eyes begin to shut, and then I hear it once more. A laugh, a woman's laugh. It's quick and quiet. It sounds as if it's very far away, that I am only just on the cusp of hearing it. I groggily sit up and walk over to one of the window shutters and peek through it. I see nothing but dark trees and now hear nothing but... Wait, I can't hear anything. No crickets, no sound. In most places, at this hour that's normal, but out in the rainforest it doesn't sit right with me. Why is it so silent? I hear the same woman's laugh again, this time, ever so slightly louder. Ever so slightly closer. My eyes are wide now and have adjusted to the darkness within the trees. Shadows stretch toward the house, casting themselves along the grass below, lit by an almost full moon. As my vision improves, I should feel less scared. However, the longer I stare, the more I feel like someone is watching me. The more I feel like something is watching me. The more I feel that something is very, very wrong. I turn back, scurrying to Kedil over the floorboards that creak beneath my feet. Kedil, I hiss, wake up. Just as I say that, the laughter quietly drifts through the air once more. It is a soft, calm laughter, almost as if it were sung. A sweet smell fills the air, becoming stronger by the second. Kedil, I whisper hoarsely. Please wake up. The feeling of dread grows. What? Kedil sluggishly asks. As soon as Kedil speaks, the smell is gone. As soon as Kedil speaks, the crickets chirp once more, the sounds of the rainforest return like a roaring chorus. As soon as Kedil speaks, the feeling of dread leaves my body, the feeling of being watched subsides. What? Kedil repeats himself. Nothing, I begin. I think I just had the creeps for a second. I thought it's nothing. I crawl back onto my mattress, wiping sweat from above my lip. I'm not sure if I'll be able to get to sleep tonight. My eyes dart to the door, which is blocked by the furniture. Number 3. My cousin couldn't move his legs after an incident. Now I know the reason why. I went to the hospital to visit my cousin. He's been traumatized since the incident, and he's not getting any progress. Still screaming. Sometimes he's just silent, always in the corner of his room. To be honest, I really don't know what to do. I don't have even the slightest idea what happened on that particular day. I went in to see Dr. Charles Pears waiting for me in the hallway. Any news, Doc? I asked. Dr. Charles replied, it's been a few weeks now, and we're not seeing any progress at all. He's still doing the same things when he first came in here. He doesn't respond to our tests. Only responses that we received from him are his screams. Is there anything I can do? Asking desperately. You know, it's really heartbreaking for me to see him in this condition. We were really close since we were a child, and he's always been a cheerful person, straightforward and always logical. I highly recommend for you to speak with him. Maybe if he remembers you, it'll trigger something, and you might make him speak. So without any questions, I entered his room. I miss him so much. He's been here for almost a year now after that incident. I really need to hear from him the details, so that I can justify everything that had happened. Why did he almost light himself with gasoline? What could have been the reason for all of this? Hey there, bud. You doing alright? I get no response. He's still in the corner, sitting and grabbing his feet while constantly rocking back and forth. Rudy, it's me, Jim. I came here to see you. This time I saw him look at me right in the eyes. His expression gradually changed from blank to terrified. Then he muttered, I can't move, I can't move, I can't move. Rudy, relax. No need for you to stress yourself out. Just calm down. Don't force yourself. He then now raised his voice. I can't move, Jim. I can't fucking move. I can't fucking move. He began screaming. The nurses rushed in to give him some medicine to calm down. Now in a much calmer voice, he began to speak. Jim, please take care of my wife and kids. I know I'll be here for a long time. Really a long time. What were you saying? I asked. It seems to me that you're getting some progress now. The doctors said that they couldn't get any response from you. But now you can speak. Just keep on looking at the bright side. He replied, looking at the bright side is the least of my concerns now, Jim. This all happened because of that fucking letter I got from Asia. They told me I shouldn't read it, that I will suffer endlessly. But fucking curses are nothing but fantasies. At least that's what I thought at that time. And now I can't fucking move my feet. I'm terrified, Jim. I'm really scared. They won't let me tell you. I asked, oh my god, what have I done? I should have kept my mouth shut. He began screaming again. With all this medicine the nurses just gave him, he still screamed at the top of his lungs like he's about to be hit by a truck. Dr. Charles advised that Rudy needs some rest. I can ask my questions in my next visit. But still, I got curious about the letter that he's talking about. So I went to his house and searched for that letter. When I opened his bag, the one that he used when he's traveling through Asia, I immediately saw it. From the eerie feeling when I pulled out the letter, I was certain that this is it. I don't have any intentions of reading it. I'm not dumb and I know that this thing I'm currently holding is dangerous. I intended on burning it so that no one won't ever have to experience what Rudy went through. So I grabbed a lighter in the kitchen and I burned the letter. I thought everything was over. How foolish I was to even touch that cursed thing. Because the thing is, after that day I've been seeing that letter appearing in different places at my house. Like it's following me. Even though I'm sure I burnt it, it came back like nothing happened to it. I still recognize the same fold pattern, the yellowish color of the paper, and it's driving me crazy how that thing followed me everywhere I go. I ignored it, but every time it comes back, I am experiencing headaches, and I feel like a pressure was pressing down on my feet. The pressure is getting heavier and heavier each time I burn it or it comes back. And by the end of the 6th month of my suffering, my feet were completely numb. I couldn't walk properly. It's finally starting to get to me. It feels like it's ordering me to read the letter. That it's the only way this will end. I have to accept that I need to suffer what Jim had experienced and endure everything that will happen after I read the letter. Doctor prescribed medicines doesn't really help at all, so on my 7th month I decided to finally read the letter. I can't take it anymore, and I feel like I'm already experiencing what Rudy went through. It couldn't have been more worse than this. How wrong was I to think that at that time? I grabbed the damn letter and sat down. Still hesitating, but I know this is the only way to end this, so I opened the letter slowly. The letter only has one letter on it, and it's the letter O, but it has been written differently, like it has been written on the same point of the paper multiple times, and when I saw that letter, I heard something terrifying. I heard laughter. It was a laughter of children, but it's different. It is loud and it's deep. I tried to run, but when I got up on my feet I realized I couldn't move my legs. That's when I saw it. Opening that letter was the worst decision I ever made in my life. Although currently I'm still alive right now, I know it's much better if I just ignored the letter forever. Because what I saw that day shocked me, and it traumatized me for the rest of my life. 2 pale children are hugging my legs, but I doubt if they ever look like children. They have a very white face, and I couldn't see their eyes at all, like their eyes have been gouged, and they're smiling as they know that they now have a new spirit to feed on. They always laugh when I scream, and it seems that every time I look at them they get even more terrifying. Anyone will lose their sanity just by having a glimpse of them. I am now currently in a hospital, and I'm still seeing them. Now I get it why Rudy couldn't move. With these demonic faces still clinging on my legs, nobody would be able to move. We hope you enjoyed these tales of horror and the macabre. Remember, there's always more to explore in the shadows. If you want to stay up to date on our latest videos, be sure to like and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.